Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Woke Witch Tarot. It has been a little while, and I am so excited to be doing another pick a card reading for you today. I have been on a little bit of a journey in my personal life, trying to get some things achieved that sometimes feel impossible, but I'm getting there. And I took a little break in order to do those things. I do plan on doing a little bit of an update video on that, on the ups and downs of things that are going on in my personal life. I feel, although I don't really talk about myself much on the channel, I do feel like it's important to document this. And I feel like Spirit is really calling me to share this particular journey with you guys. So I will definitely be doing a life update type of video here in the next couple of videos, and answering questions that you guys have of me on a more personal note. But today I wanted to focus on something that I've been feeling quite a bit that the collective might need. I want to do a pick a card for those that feel lost. I've had those moments over the past couple months, right? And I totally understand and empathize if you feel like you are in a similar situation in your life. I'm going to be looking today at what the situation might be. I'm going to channel as much as I can based off of your charm for your particular situation. Any words of encouragement, of advice, of understanding, of clarity that wants to come through for each particular pile. And of course, any advice that the universe has for you in regards to the particular situation that you are going through. It's certainly not going to be a one-size-fits-all reading, but I think you might find something in one of the piles that really resonates with you. So I'm looking forward to jumping in. As always, these readings are general readings, so they're not going to resonate with everybody. If you would like a personal reading, you can always feel free to reach out to me on the website, which is listed here or down in the description, and I would be honored to do a personal reading for you. I also wanted to let you know that I list all of the cards, because I get this question quite often. I list all of the cards that I use down in the description section below for each particular reading. So if you're interested in that, that is where you can find that information. Today I'm going to be using a couple different cards, some that you may not have ever seen before because they're pretty rare cards. So all of that stuff is linked down below. We have 4 piles for you to choose from. I will zoom in here so that you can see the piles a little bit more clearly. I listened to the feedback on some of the other readings about how difficult it was to see the charms with the backdrops that I was using. So I did put these on a little white linen here so that you could perhaps see them a little bit better. Pile 1 is this skeleton charm. Pile 2 is this little bird in a bird cage. Pile 3 is this compass, and pile 4 is a cuckoo clock with some birds on the clock itself. So please take a moment, meditate on the question of what you need to hear right now if you're feeling particularly lost in your life, in your journey. And when you're ready, pick pile 1, 2, 3, or 4, and feel free to fast forward to the timestamps for your pile that I have listed up in the upper left-hand corner, or the clickable links that I have listed in the description or in the pinned comment in this particular video. Okay? And when you're ready, I will see you on whichever side you picked. Alrighty, if you picked pile number 1, this little skeleton charm, then this is the reading for you. If you are feeling particularly lost at this point in your life. Now, I can't help but to notice the obvious about this charm in that there's so much about this that represents death. And in the tarot, we often relate death to the death card, this idea of death and rebirth, of complete transformation, of a new chapter in your life. Looking for a new chapter, I'm getting yearning for one, okay? You could be a Scorpio, but you don't have to be a Scorpio. One of the ways that I wanted to start each one of these piles was to ask a question that I felt guided to ask based off of your charm and the energy that I was getting off of it. And I think the question for you, pile number 1, is how much life have you decided that you have yet to live? How much life have you decided that you have yet to live? And when you come up with that number, right? When you come up with that number, what does it mean to be alive to you? What does it mean to be alive to you? There's so much here in this particular charm I get of stagnancy, of feeling like you're stuck. I get dead inside. And that's not something that you should feel ashamed of, because I feel a lot of shame for this particular pile. A lot of shame, a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas in the dialogue that I'm getting here. I'm also getting a deep need to forgive, to work on forgiveness. And the key person to work on this with being the self, forgiving yourself for any situation, any road that has led you, right? Because we often internalize where we are right now and fail to subtract things like circumstance, socioeconomic factors and things of that nature, right? Forgiveness in regards to those things, but also forgiveness in regards to the way that you're feeling. If you are feeling like you just can't get up, if you are feeling like, even if I could get up, where the hell would I go? You can forgive yourself for that. This is one of the things that I feel that Spirit really wants you to work on, to say, you know what? It's a new day. At any moment when I have the absolute blessing to open my peepers and to experience this life, I can know that it is a new opportunity for me to transform, to start fresh. And I get a lot of that here. I think too, I get waiting, the waiting game. Okay, this is coming very strongly here. I feel like a lot of you have been waiting. The question is, what are you waiting for? Sometimes in life we have to wait. Waiting is actually the best course of action. But I think for some of you, there's a miscommunication or there's a way in which you're engaging with this idea of waiting, where there's a lot of condemnation of the self because you're not moving. And you might be asking yourself, what is wrong with you that you can't get up and move? Sometimes we are actually meant to do nothing, to not move, to sit in the quiet, to contemplate who we are, who it is that we want to become based off of what we've been through. This idea of like what we've been through also really stands out to me, okay? Because I get a very strong feeling here that one of the things that you may be failing to understand is that there's a reason that you're waiting. There's a reason that you feel stuck. Often life puts detours in our way. It puts detours in our way for a specific purpose. And usually that purpose has to do with our ultimate life purpose, right? We are stuck wallowing, waiting, contemplating all of the things that we've been through that we feel are negative experiences, but that the universe actually is saying to us, no, this is a necessary part of the journey. You cannot be who you were meant to be in the future if you do not start with the rudimentary knowledge of what it is that I'm asking you to experience in the moment. And I know it doesn't make it hurt any less, right? But I often think that sometimes when we look at it from this perspective of I'm actually, I'm not moving, right? I'm not stagnant. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. The universe has me feeling this way for a reason. And that reason is to think about everything that I feel has led me here, all of the situations that have brought me to this place, where I was wearing my training wheels, right? Training like a marathon runner for this new experience, this new part of my purpose, of my destiny. And were it not for those experiences, I would not be my ultimate self. So I feel the universe is saying, don't condemn yourself for being exactly where you're supposed to be. If you are stuck, if you do feel like things aren't moving, or like you don't know where it is that you're supposed to be moving to, what part of me needs to die? What is the new version of me that will emerge from this rebirth? That's okay. You're meant to be in this place right now. Very, very interesting, especially with those questions of how much life do you feel that you have left to live? In other words, have you decided, right, that this is it? This is it, right? Throwing your hands up and saying, there's nothing more that I can do. There's nothing left in me. Or throwing your hands up and saying, I guess this is the life that I'm going to live forever, right? And that bringing your spirits down. And if you recognize, wait a minute, I've got a whole, I'm like a cat, right? I got 8 more lives left in me. What do you want to do with those lives? It reminds me of that quote, what do you want to do with your one beautiful and wondrous life? I think it's something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. Very interesting energy. Let's see what we can get for you. Spider spirit, make your dreams real. And wombat spirit, be at home. Yeah, this is home for right now. I know that I know that that's difficult to hear sometimes, right? But there is this special place was actually made for you in this particular moment. I'm picking up on that, okay? You're meant to be stuck. You're meant to be tangled in your own web, a web of your thoughts, a web of emotions from the past, present, and future, right? And this is actually a sacred space. Not a place of that you should mourn being in. It's actually a place of ultimate reflection for you in your life. Be at home in this place. Recognize, wait a minute, this place isn't meant to be sad. It's not meant to make me feel less than, or like I've given up, or like I've let myself down. This isn't a place of failure. This is a springboard. It is the first level of concrete that has been poured for your new foundation. You are at a place where the universe is saying, we have to look at the floor plan now of what it is that we're deciding. And I can't have you doing that with all the noise that you are used to. So we're sitting in silence, in limbo, between our death and our rebirth, right there, right? We're kind of floating in between both worlds. And we should welcome this respite. It's rest. It is rejuvenation. It is not a punishment. It is not a condemnation, okay? And it certainly isn't the end of the road. The road is going to begin again. You are going to build that road. And this is what the universe is putting you here for. It wants you to think about all the things that you've woven in your life, all the things that you've created, pieces of you, your friendship circles, your work, your school, everything that you have made of yourself, right? And when we sit at home in our own heart space, in our own a higher vibrational state, right, without noise, without distraction, we can see what in this web no longer works. what links need to be broken, or where it is that we need to weave a new web entirely. Respect this space I'm getting. Respect this space instead of trying to push it away. This space is actually trying to comfort you, and I'm getting it's trying to bring you home. Because you may have gone on a little detour that the universe knows is not for your highest good. So be at home, at peace in home, even if that feels like you're stuck, because you're being prepared for this transformation that is about to occur in your life, okay? We have the Page of Cups reversed, the Hanged Man reversed, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords reversed. So right off the bat, okay, we have some water here, Pisces in particular. We also have some earth and some air energy. Right off the bat, one of the things that I get here is a loss of love. Love lost. You know that saying, there's no love lost? There is love lost here. Okay, you might feel that, like, I've lost some passion, I've lost some spark, I've lost this zest that I felt like I used to have, perhaps because of issues that are rooted in trauma in regards to your childhood in particular. But I also get, like, it's too late to apologize. I'm pretty sure that's a song. I'm pretty sure that there's a song that says something like that. I feel the reason that that's coming up is because it's like when something bad happens to us, right? Oftentimes we feel like all I need here is an I'm sorry. All I need here is an apology from the universe, from myself to myself, right? That's all I need. And I feel that the universe is saying we are long past that. Thinking about a resolution, the resolution has already come. You just haven't realized it yet because you have not connected to this space, a space of love within the self. But also a space where you say, hold on a second, at any moment, I can be reborn. At any moment. It doesn't mean that my transformation is going to be easy, but it is absolutely possible. And this Page of Cups reverse really reminds me of that. Like, we don't need apologies anymore. For some of you in particular, you could be in a situation in your home life where things feel upside down and you feel stuck, particularly those that are in relationships that have already been built here with the Seven of Pentacles, and you don't feel the luster, you don't feel the love, you don't feel respect, you don't feel this doesn't have to be romantic either. It could be your parents or your friendship group. But I feel a sense of, like, if I could get an apology for all the wrongs, everything that I feel kind of led me to this sullen place, then I can get closure. What the spread is basically saying is that we need to stop waiting for that. We need to stop waiting for exterior resolution to our problems and start with the resolution ourselves. Again, as I had mentioned with the charm, I got a lot of tones about forgiveness of the self, forgiveness of the space that we find ourselves in right now. And this spread is very much saying that it is time to stop waiting for apologies from the outside world. Stop hanging upside down and letting your life dangle on a string to wait for resolution from others in regards to your own trauma, in regards to love lost in relationships, in friendships, okay? Or just in our general zest for life. We're past that. We already know everything we need to know about that situation. And I think that if you were to get an apology from those people, or from even at this point yourself, right? You might say, I'm kind of past that. It doesn't give me the closure that I thought I needed, because the words fall flat. I've graduated past the point where I need that, okay? So we're not letting our happiness, our forward movement, our rebirth hang on that, what I'm getting is that much of a fickle string. Words are meaningless here, okay? What the universe wants you to look towards is the action that you can take. particularly because I feel so much about like exterior distraction. The universe kind of honing you into this quiet space, a quiet room, right? This could certainly be something like quarantine, okay? Where we're all kind of in quiet rooms right now, right? Thinking deep about our life and what wasn't working for us, and realizing what we actually do want now that we've had time to shut down a little bit, right? This is asking you to look forward to what it is that you can build on your own without the need of closure from other people. This very much too, I get a sense of like disconnection, of disconnecting from the things that have this hold on you, perhaps an emotional hold on you here. Okay, as I mentioned before, trauma in particular from childhood, perhaps, that has woven a web in your mind, that has left you responding in a cyclical way to situations the same way, even though you know better now, right? It's like, I'm trying to think of an example to bring this into the practical, right? To actually put it in a way that it isn't metaphorical, that you can use. It's like somebody that, always dates abusive people, okay? And perhaps that person was abused as a child and learned, right? Learned this is what love is, this warped, twisted version of love. This is what I'm used to, so this must be what I deserve. This must be what I am worth, right? This spread is saying we have to recognize those patterns, and we have to break those patterns in our mind. Something obviously easier said than done. But I get from the Seven of Pentacles that the way to do that is first by acknowledging that even though you might be in a place where you sit still, we have to focus on the things that we have accomplished and what it is that those things prove to us about us. Okay? For example, if you are afraid to live on your own, okay, you might be, let's say, in a relationship where you don't want to be in that relationship anymore, and money matters, finances here are affecting your ability to leave, to walk away. But when you really think about it, you think, wait a minute, I've worked all my life. I know how to save. I know how to balance a checkbook. I've already actually been paying half the rent. So if I moved somewhere that was half as expensive, I would be living the same life, making the same commitment, putting in the same amount of work. It's just that I would actually have some peace of mind here, right? The universe is asking you to look at your situations that way, on what you have accomplished versus what it is that you have lost. And what is it that what you have survived and what you have accomplished can teach you about all the negative things, the untrue things that you say to yourself about how capable you are of transforming your life and starting a new chapter. Focus at home, in other words, internally, on what it is that you've already overcome. That even if you've overcome this and feel like you're in this stuck waiting place now, that doesn't mean you haven't survived anything. And this is saying, look at what you've already built. Look at what you've already nurtured. Look at what you've already survived. And when you look at it from this perspective, that helps you to unravel the web of lies and deceits that you are telling yourself, or that you have been conditioned since childhood to believe. Thoughts that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you dangling on a very fine wire, one that can break and lead you to a place where you're here forever. Because the thing about sadness, right? The thing about it's like that saying, an object in motion stays in motion. One of the laws of physics, right? The scary part about this is the idea that if you stay immovable, right, any longer, you will remain that way, because it's harder to get moving once you've been sitting still for a very long time. And this is saying first start, first begin by looking at all of the areas in your life where you did move. Write it down. These are the things that I have overcome in my life. These are all the chapters where I said enough. Enough pain, enough betrayal, enough telling myself that I'm not capable, right? And you've started new. Recognize those things. Be with this quiet space, this space where you feel like nothing is moving, and use that to your advantage. It's not a punishment. It's a paid vacation. Okay, it's a paid vacation where you focus like a health and wellness retreat. That's what you're on right now. This shift in perspective will help you to remove the mental bonds that are keeping you in this space, but also with the Nine of Swords reversed here, the stuff that might get you very much into a place where you convince yourself that nothing can change. Wait a minute, things have changed. I've changed them in the past. You're being asked to reconnect with this. Some of you really do need to leave home, okay? You're somewhere where you don't belong. I feel this energy is going to be pretty pervasive through all the piles. Some of you are somewhere where you don't belong, whether that's in a relationship that you don't belong in, like a marriage, and you know your home life is upsetting, or even if you live with parents or something like that, you know it's time to break free. This is basically saying, we need to get into a home where we know, even though it takes work to get to that place, the peace of mind, the peace of mind that you will have by being in a place where there isn't this negative energy looming, stopping you, sticking to you, and almost pulling you back to the past, right? That's going to be worth it. You're going to find value in a new space where your brain can actually breathe, where your heart can actually breathe, and you can cut yourself loose. You can untether yourself from the people, places, and things that keep you feeling like your life isn't moving forward, okay? Some of you, this is a literal change of scenery here, okay? We have purity, yeah, hope, wow, okay. So what I'm feeling here is this space, as I said, this is sacred space. This is... consider this a baptism, right? Whether you're religious or not. I make so many religious references sometimes in my readings, and I think people think maybe I'm religious, and I'm not. I just happen to know a lot about religion. I'm not sure why. I clearly need a boyfriend. Okay. I research random things. Purity. This is a place of purity where you are looking at yourself from a perspective like this butterfly. What is my next metamorphosis? Where is it that I need to change to be free so that I can fly like this dragon, okay, towards the next direction? No noise I'm getting. It's important to sit in the quiet. This perspective, I think, will help you tremendously. This is happening for me, not to me, okay? And then we also have hope here. This is what is brimming. This is what's going to come from our shift in the perspective. Hope again for the future. And that hope is energy. Notice how even here on top of this dragon, it looks like a fire is about to crest off of its crown, okay? That hope is energy. You're being washed. You're being cleansed right now. The more that you're able to disconnect from this outward distraction, particularly if you have toxic people in your life that are making it kind of sticky to feel comfortable at home, okay? Home as in your actual physical abode, or home as in your own heart space, right? To make it uncomfortable for you to just be you, because they're trying to change you, because they're telling you everything that's wrong with you, that you need to change to suit them instead of you. This quiet, okay, this place of stuckness is a blessing. It is meant to wash you of all of these thoughts. All we have to do is shift the perspective on that. This will give us the hope that we're looking for. I love that hope has these beautiful constellations over it, because I think that hope is going to be your guiding light. Once you start feeling that hope of, wait a minute, I have survived. I've made it this far, right? I have accomplished things in my life. Once you do that, all of a sudden the sky opens. Where it was dark, you see stars, and you use those to guide you to your next destination, to who it is that you've always dreamed of being. Very much fate pushing you in the right direction, okay? Definitely yes. Share. And simplicity. Okay. Definitely yes. I feel like the thing that you're contemplating right now, whether it's, should I move out? Should I start a new career? Should I ask this person out, right? Whatever it is that you are looking to transform in your life, I feel this is more attached to the self. When it comes to freedom, I'm getting freedom to be who it is that you were always, but life said you can't. Whether that's something as simple as wearing the clothes that you'd like, or dating the person that you'd like, doing the career that you'd like, following that path, right? The answer to your question is a strong yes. Yes, it is possible. Yes, this blessing will happen. You will be able to make this transformation occur. You also have share and you have simplicity here. I'll go over simplicity first, because I feel like this is the energy. This is that purity, the cleansing, right? The light coming in here to set. It's like after rain, right? The air smells so clean and everything feels so fresh. After thunderstorms, after tumultuous weather, there's a new dawn breaking here for this transformation for you, where you absolutely, yes, will be able to accomplish this thing. But first, the universe is putting you in this place of simplicity where you do feel stuck, because you don't know how stuck you feel. Let me rephrase that. I feel like this is going to be one of the most important parts of the reading, if you take anything away. You don't know what freedom actually feels like until you feel enslaved. Whether that's by people in your life, circumstance, financial situations, toxic relationships, or just yourself, your own mood, your own negative thoughts holding you back, even though you know you're on the cusp of something great. And the universe is saying, yes, you can have this new life. Oftentimes, it takes us, the universe pushing us, these tower moments, to make us so uncomfortable, so enslaved to the life that we're living that we know no longer resonates with us, before we're willing to break free and recognize, no, this is what true freedom means to me. This is what I actually would like to have in my life. This space, put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. This is why you are in this current position. The universe wants to strip you, especially for those of you that feel that you have lost a lot. You feel like you've lost love. You feel like you have lost time because you're not accomplishing things, right? You feel like you have lost money. For some of you, you feel like you have taken a step backwards in regards to your mental health. Again, the pandemic could be affecting all of these things. You could have lost your job. You could feel like, I don't know why, I feel sad all the time, but I do. I can't get myself out of this funk. Okay? I've lost love. I've lost friends. I've lost a significant other. And I'm dangling. And I don't know how to get myself out of this place. Right? I'm dangling between my death and my rebirth, stuck in the middle, okay? This space is meant to clear your mind, to clear your heart on which direction it is that you are going to next. One of the things that I love is that at the center of your spread, you have the share card, okay? When you share, everyone feels happy. Now, some of you could certainly be speaking to somebody, a professional, in regards to this transition, particularly if you're dealing with emotional issues, mental health related issues, removing yourself, trying to unstick yourself from trauma from the past with the Page of Cups reversed here, okay? But more so, so this act of speaking this, no longer holding it in, right? So that you can actually create a place of simplicity in your life. When you have a good cry, don't you just feel like a weight has been lifted, even if it hasn't? your body at least feels like it's had some release, right? I sense that some of you could be speaking to somebody. Some of you could be depending on or putting your weight on the shoulders of somebody else with a good ear, right? That can listen and not judge, and just say, you can tell your friend or your lover or whoever, right? A parent, like, I need you to listen to me for 20 minutes to just complain about these emotions that I'm feeling, and not say anything and not judge me. Just smile and nod. Just smile and nod while I work my way through it. And this act of actually getting it out, this is going to help you quite a bit, okay? It's going to release some of the pressure that you feel by saying, okay, hold on a second. Finally, I have acknowledged this. I've shared this. I have let it go. When you share, everyone feels happy, including you. I think that this idea of sharing, okay, even if you just put it on social media or something, like I've had a really weird 3 months and I don't feel great. One, I think that a lot of people will come to your aid because they understand now, versus the closed off feeling that I got from the beginning of the spread. This is one where people are like, hold on a second, I'm going through the same thing. Here's what I did that helped me. How can I be of assistance to you? You will draw people to you here by sharing this. At a minimum, you will relieve some of the weight of the burden that you're carrying, because the body, I'm getting here, the body, you're almost like tricking your body into releasing, feeling like it's released a weight. And that, anytime that you get a little lighter for the journey, it makes it easier to move, to have this hope reinvigorate you, and for you to take your first step into your transformation, okay? I also feel here with the share card that some of you may be inclined, okay, to share this on a public forum. There's a lot of people, I'm being told, that actually need to hear this message, especially with the Seven of Pentacles underneath, like a group of people that almost have like a watchful ear. I can't help but to notice this is a bird, and there's all this blue imagery here. This could be something that you literally just tweet into the void. Whoever hears it, hears it. If nobody hears it, then nobody hears it, right? There's a sense here that there's other people that need to hear this too. It's almost like we're waiting for you to unlock yourself. All this stuff that you've kept pent up, all of this love, all of this hardship that you've kept stuck inside of you, when you release it into the world will respond. At a minimum, okay, for you, pile number one, this sharing, even if you just write it in a journal or you say it in a mirror, this sharing, this airing of it will be the first step in you moving past the denial of what you're feeling. Past the denial of the fact that you do feel stuck, that you do feel lost, right? That you may feel unlovable, that you may feel like you're tethering on a string and you don't know how else to hold on, to move forward. That is the first practical step here I'm getting. To be able to just say it and acknowledge it. There's so much that starts to shape its way in your life once you say, you know what? Yeah, things kind of suck right now. I do know that feeling. I had a moment like that when I kind of went away for a little bit, you know. Yeah, I need to acknowledge this. And the second that I did, it's amazing how quickly, right, things start coming together and perspectives begin to shift. And all of these things and these places where you feel like I'm just wavering between two spaces, the past and the future that I want, and I can't seem to get unstuck between the both of those things. Those things just start to flow, and you all of a sudden receive these aha downloads of where it is that you're meant to go next. I want to pull one more card. I know I've talked quite a bit here on what energy the universe kind of wants you to embody, kind of like advice, right? In order to kind of get yourself out of this stuck place, okay? To also aid you in the next step in your transformation, you've pulled the card of the bear. I'm going to actually read this to you because I find that with certain oracle decks, sometimes the guides do so much more justice to the cards than I can. I can't help but to notice, though, as I as I look this up for you, I can't help but to notice how much the idea of the bear, right? There's so much about home. There's so much here about hibernation. Hibernation, you could feel like you've been in hibernation. There's a reason that bears hibernate, right? What is that reason, okay? There's something, this place of purity. Think of yourself as a bear, right? You've just been resting. You haven't been stuck. You haven't been lost. You're resting. You took the winter to just chill, and now it's spring, and you're like, the butterflies are out, and right, you're ready to start a new chapter. Just trying to find this for you. There we go. Here's this for those that like to screenshot things. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the full page, but there it is nonetheless. Bear, waking from spiritual slumber, beginning anew. Wow. That's pretty damn fitting for this reading, right? Some extra confirmation here. After a long winter, the bear arises from deep slumber. At first, the movement and effort are difficult, but the bear knows it's time to awaken and move toward the dawning light. The bear card represents an individual on the cusp of new directions and personal transformation. The initial weeks and months of this spiritual quest may feel tricky, cumbersome, and full of obstacles, but you have no choice, bear. Winter wanes, the warmth of spring emerges, and your transformation begins. You have no choice here. I love that. Failure to make a choice, too, is a choice in and of itself, and it's usually the wrong choice, right? When in balance, inner strength, yearning to grow. I had mentioned that yearning earlier. Interesting. When out of balance, withdrawal, lethargy, and heaviness, right? Feeling like you're just completely lethargic. To bring into balance movement and exercise. You know, if ever there was a time to like do some squats and build a booty, okay, you have a perfect excuse. You are going to channel your inner bear here. Walk around, pace in your bedroom, get some movement going, right? Even if you say, I'm going to pace back and forth 10 times, see how you feel after that. Go out for a walk with this idea of spring, connecting to nature, obviously, getting out of the cave. For some of you, you might be stuck inside, and you need that vitamin D. You need fresh air in order to feel like the bear again, right? In order to feel like the powerful creature that you are, that nobody should mess with. Very, very beautiful reading. Pile number 1. I hope that this resonated, that it gave you, at a minimum, something to think about. With readings like this, it's not easy to just give you the solution, right? Oftentimes it's something that you have to search yourself for, but hopefully this kind of pushed you along the way and you connected with something here. I want to thank you so much for joining me on the channel again. I'm looking forward to reconnecting with you guys. Any questions or anything like that, please feel free to share them down below. If you've made it this far, leave a little bear emoji down in the comments section for all of my people that are looking to get out of hibernation. All right? Hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye-bye. All right, if you picked pile number 2, our little birds in bird cages here, then this is the reading for you. If you are feeling particularly lost at this moment in time in your life, one of the things that kind of came up in the first reading, which I really liked, was a question. And I thought, you know what, I should do this for all the piles. What question is it that's really jumping out at me from this charm? I think for you, pile number 2, there's actually 2 questions fitting for your pile number, okay? The first question is this: what does freedom mean to you? Right? What does freedom mean to you? And when you think about that, about what freedom means to you, have you ever been truly free? Have you ever been truly free in your life? Have you felt like you were free to do what you want, when you want, to be yourself, to love who you want to love, to pursue what you want to pursue, to build what you want to build? Have you ever experienced that type of freedom in your life? You could certainly be at a place in your life right now where you feel caged like this particular bird. You may be spending time inside as we are going through this pandemic, right? We all have had our moments, I think, where we feel a little caged up. But I also get here, aside from physical, feeling a little cagey physically perhaps, right? Feeling like you may be in circumstances in a bird cage that no longer fits you, or that you've outgrown, that you feel is a space that you want to fly away from, okay? Another thing that I'm really picking up on here is the feeling of speech. The notion of saying what you want to say, and perhaps your voice being stifled in particular for this particular pile. Now, that certainly could be from something like a creative sense, but what I'm really connecting with is this birdcage feeling like a rib cage to me. And there's a sense of like your lungs, your heart, all of these organs, right, that are protected by your body, by your ribs, by your cage, the cage of your physical, the way that you manifest physically in this world. And there's something that wants to get out. Okay, this is more than just needing a breath of fresh air, or perhaps the desire to travel. You certainly could be in that space, but it's for a deeper reason. You could be looking for a new cage. I want to be independent. I want to be out of this physical space. I want to be in my own home. I've got goals to upgrade my home. I've got material things that I want to accomplish in my life, right? But I feel this is more a sense of your voice, your deep inner voice, and whether or not you're allowed to speak truly and freely to yourself and to the world in how it is that you live, which is a direct manifestation of what it is that you believe, what it is that you hold dear inside of you. So I think a lot of you, part of the feeling of being stuck is truth. Defining what this truth is for you, and if you have been able to express this truth, whether it's something as simple as this idea of like a Tweety bird, you know, those beautiful sounds that birds make, right? Singing your song, or letting your voice be heard, sharing your opinion, feeling like you have spent a lot of time being quiet, or this act of living in your truth, right? I have had all this bottled up energy. I know that there is a certain path for me, but there are constructs, there are cages, whether society has put them on me, my family or friends have put them on me, or I have put this cage, built this cage around myself. I've outgrown this cage, and I want to live in this authentic truth. And part of the thing that you might realize, as we often do, right, when we start getting a little claustrophobic, when we start feeling like the walls of our own cages are kind of closing in on us, okay? Part of what we realize there is, okay, I am not living my authentic truth. I am not speaking up for myself, advocating for myself, fighting for myself, and living my life on a daily basis in a way that truly resonates with the voice inside of me, with the desires of the voice inside of me, with the experience of the voice inside of me, with the truth of the voice inside of me. Very, very interesting energy. Let's see what else we can get for you here. Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. And Vulture Spirit. Nothing is wasted. Very, very interesting. There's first, let me point you to the fact that it's funny that you have two birds that have shown up for you. Birds could be a way that your own guides are trying to communicate a message to you right now, okay? I feel like if you see birds or notice them or feel like birds are trying to talk to you, this is a sign that your guides have your back, as it says here with Eagle Spirit. Somebody is looking out for you. There is a predator, right? Or a more powerful being that certainly is keeping watchful eye on you. Also, with nothing is wasted here, there's so much here about not letting yourself go to waste. I get this feeling here about time ticking slowly. It ticks slowly, but I think you feel it in a rush. You feel a sense of like, if I don't break free from this cage, if I don't start living my actual truth, I'm never going to get there. And a lot of disappointment, perhaps that disappointment is one of the rungs on this cage. It's one of the bars, okay? Yes. One of the bars on this cage is this idea that time has gone. It's too late. I can't change anything. This is how things are now, right? This very much gives me that feeling that time is not wasted. You still have more time to change, to leave whatever cage it is that you're in now that you don't want to be in, but also to live your authentic truth. For a lot of you, there is something that you are meant to say to the world, okay? There's a story that you're meant to tell. There's something, perhaps some of you have a beautiful voice, and this will come out in the form of singing. Regardless, though, there's so much connected with this idea of living in your truth, and your guide's saying you're protected in living in your truth. You don't have to be afraid of who you are anymore. It doesn't matter what society thinks or how much it tries to cage you. You know it's time to bust out and to live authentically. And don't be disappointed in yourself that you've let it go on this long, where you've been lying to yourself or lying to others so that you don't create conflict, right? So that you don't create burden. Card 23 breaking to a 5, this idea of war, of conflict, right? But also 63 breaking down to a 9, very much like the 9 of Wands, feeling like you've gotten a lot of scars along the way. You've gotten bruised and broken along the way. And when you do that, it's almost like putting your hand on a fire and saying, oh boy, when I have tried to live authentically, I've gotten burned. It might be easier. It might be easier to just swallow the world and the idea of what the world is telling me that I need to be, of who I need to be, of how I need to live, instead of taking the risk of being my authentic self and expressing outwardly through my words and my actions and how I live my life what freedom truly means to me. Some of you are trying to break free of that cage. 5 of Cups reversed, the 7 of Cups, Death reversed. We also have the Knight of Wands here and the 4 of Wands. Scorpio coming through here at the center. We also have fire energy. A little bit of water as well, okay? You could be one of those signs, but you certainly don't have to be. There's a lot of fire here. I think this is internal fire, right? Internal flame. You have been blowing yourself out like a candle, right? You've been blowing yourself out, dimming your shine. I think a part of this is some of you have been told throughout your lives, whether it's in a situation when you were younger, right, that you are meant to be quiet. Be quiet, be good, right? Don't cause friction. Don't go against the grain. Don't swim upstream. Don't do these things. Don't be your original self. Your original self is weird or lost or doesn't fit into my paradigm, doesn't fit into my dogma. And I need you in this box. I need you living life this way. Again, these could be constructs of the people around you, of society, but there's a weight being lifted here, okay? With this Five of Cups reverse, it's funny, because even here there's an owl, this sign of intuition, this sign of guides, okay, right over the eagle spirit that says that spirit has your back. There's a sense here that you're pulling the wool from over your own eyes. Rose-colored glasses I'm getting with the Seven of Cups. You're letting them shatter. You can see particles shattering above this woman's head. And you're no longer holding on to the delusion, okay? The delusion that other people throw your way to convince you that you have to live a certain way. I think sometimes too, this cage feels like a promise. This is very, very interesting. I feel like sometimes when we walk a certain path in our lives, it's like we're making a promise with ourselves and the people around us, with how we engage with society. Just for example's sake, right? If you wear your hair long all the time, and all of a sudden you get inspired to get a short, blunt cut, and you enter into the workplace or into your friend group with this new transformed haircut, and people are like, wait a minute, this isn't you. See, you've trained me. You've trained me to expect a certain part of you, a certain way in which you represent yourself to the world. And I don't like the shift that's happening here. I don't like that you're trying to free yourself from the cage of what you've trained me that you are. And this is saying, like, I won't, with death reversed here, I'm getting very strongly that, like, I won't sacrifice myself for you anymore. See, the way that I wasn't me training you to see me this way. It was just how I felt it at the moment, right? And these new changes that I'm making, this new transformation that I'm making, where I'm shattering things in my life, breaking them in the right places where I know this is already broken, I might as well snap it the rest of the way, right? This new version of you that is emerging, okay, where people I feel are trying to pull you, even with the imagery here, there's something like about this red, this blood, this, it's almost like your DNA, like how people know you, right? Trying to pull you back as you try to break through this ceiling that you're shattering for yourself. I feel like people are saying, no, you're not allowed to be that because you've told me that you're something else. And this death reverse is very much saying, like, well, now I'm telling you something different. Very deal with it energy here, okay? I think one of the things that my guides really want you to know here, okay? What they're telling me is that it's okay to chart a new path. See, we get so stuck in specific directions sometimes that we feel that we are married to them. And any shift in that direction makes us question who we were, that we ever even started on that journey that now feels so wholly wrong for us, right? But also who we think we are. I get this very much from the people perhaps in your circle, like, who do you think you are? You're not going to change. You're not going to, right? You've always been this way. And this is basically saying you don't need permission. To stop waiting for permission to embark on your own transformation here. With the Knight of Wands, you can just get up on your horse and go. Okay? And all of these things that you're shedding, all of this life that you feel like, I'm going to crack this in these ways because I know that these particular parts of my life no longer resonate with the true version of me that I've kept hidden, that I've kept locked away for long enough. Once you do that, you're well on your way to this new destiny with the Four of Wands, okay? To your actual home, this new cage, I hate to say cage, right? But a new place that you actually feel like I resonate with this. I think for some of you, this has a lot to do with friendships, okay? Because I'm getting a sense here that there's people in your life that want you to stay the same so that they don't have... Here's what... Oh, okay, this came through very strongly, okay? This is your mantra, pile number 2. I am no longer dimming my flame or my shine to accommodate your mediocrity. I'm not giving you a pass anymore. I feel like you're saying this to these people in your life, but also to yourself. I'm not giving you a pass anymore, even with this 5 of Cups in reverse, okay? There's almost a sense that if you dim your shine, if you dim your flame, your passion, your desire to move in a different direction now, right? That is a reflection. It lights up. It lights up all of the holes, all of the breaks in other people's lives. And people are asking you not to do that. They're saying, please don't show me where I'm stuck in my own cage by being better, by moving forward, by changing, by being authentic. Because that hurts me. Right? It hurts me. It's almost like you've got blood on your hands here as a side effect of you crawling out of this space, this 5 of Cups reverse, no longer sitting in a place where you're down on yourself. And instead, you're moving to a place where you're saying, I'm going to change. I'm going to actually physically move in a new direction here, okay? When you do that, it hurts other people. And it's not your responsibility to coddle anybody's mediocrity. It is not your responsibility to stop moving forward in order to make other people feel happy or feel less sad, less desperate, less emotionally torn about the transitions that they have failed to make in their own life. You can open this door and you can leave this cage, and you are headed towards that here with the Knight of Wands. I feel some of you, this is about actual expression, right? The Knight of Wands is a very creative card. It's a messenger. It is something rushing, right? You're rushing towards the future to say something. I think what you're saying is this life, right? This iteration, this chapter, it's over. I can't hold on to it anymore. It's like you're clawing your way out of this storyline and realigning with the new chapter of your destiny. You're writing a new fairy tale for yourself with the 4 of Wands here, okay? There's movement here. You could physically, as I said, with this idea of the birdcage, be deciding I need to move to a different place, one that aligns with my true voice. I feel like there's something quite big here, okay? I feel something quite big here. As in, perhaps some of you are wanting to move to a bigger city. A place where you feel like, okay, this place actually resonates with me as an artist, as somebody vocal, as somebody that doesn't mind speaking out, going to war with establishment, with norms, with the way things should be, to be a good boy or girl, and to not disrupt the flow, right? Some of you are saying, no, I want fire in my life. I want flame. In fact, I think for some of you with this idea of nothing is wasted with the 9 of Wands that came into my head here, I think for some of you, you're very much are connecting with this part of you that says, if I'm not bruised, if I'm not broken at the end of this journey, at the end of this life, I know that I did it all wrong. If I don't have war stories, if I don't have scars, right? If I haven't been to battle for myself, for my own vision, then I have done it all wrong. There's a lot here in this particular portion of the spread that is quite stoic. The Stoics, one of the tenets of Stoicism is the belief that the greatest fear of a Stoic is not death. It's not any of the trappings of human life, of not having money, of not, right? The greatest fear of a Stoic is not living their life to the fullest of their potential. And how can you live your life to the fullest of your potential if you don't live in your own truth? I'm getting here, I'm tired of lying about my life. And that is strong. That is a strong statement, okay? I'm tired of lying about my life, about who I am, about what I want. I'm tired of lying to myself about my life, that my life is okay and this cage is fine. No, I know that I want freedom. So the question again, this brings you to this question. What does freedom mean to you? And have you ever truly lived free? For some of you, there is this move towards a place that is freer. I'm getting, as I said, there's something big here. Okay, maybe some of you have dreamed of like moving to New York because I like Big Apple or big city. Okay, and you feel like these people resonate with me more, right? I feel like my voice doesn't vibrate. It doesn't echo well in this particular cage of the town that I am living in. I've got big ideas. I've got big, right? This is not a diss on a small town living or anything like that, because every place has its pros and its cons, okay? I'm just speaking specifically to the people that I'm feeling this energy from, okay? This might be totally different for you. You might decide, I want to live on a farm and like raise rabbits all day. This could be your big move, okay? But I get like big city, big Apple, right? Big shift here in movement, because you have big ideas, you have big goals, and you don't want to be trapped. You don't want to be trapped by family, by circumstance in this place. Any life where you're not living your authentic truth is one where you fail. It's funny, with this death reversed, it's like you fail to even live. It's like you're born dead if you refuse to leave the cage that you know no longer suits you. Very, very interesting. Let's see what else we have here. Space? Oh, yeah. Okay. This is Omen. Okay. First, let me get this out of the way. This is card number 11, Omen, okay? As I said, there's something about birds in particular that might be a sign. Even here, this Omen, this messenger is a bird. Your guides, I feel, are trying to speak to you through the birds. I'm getting like it's for the birds. That's kind of funny. You will receive a message here, 1111. Destiny, synchronicities. Pay attention to synchronicities, especially things like 1111 here, okay? Because these are the numbers of destiny, of newness, okay? Of mastery, coming into the next master portion of your life, where it is that the universe wants you to take flight next. Some of this is actual flight, okay? Actually leaving, actually traveling somewhere. That's going to help you get unstuck, because you're in a situation right now where you're almost, it's like you're starting the game on hard mode, because you're in a space, right? Space here. You're in a space where people don't appreciate your uniqueness. They don't appreciate your true voice. And so you're already starting out the gate with obstacles, okay? You're already starting in a space where you're confined. It's like setting yourself up to live life on hard mode, and the universe is saying this can be a lot easier for you. For some of you, this is digital space. There's like a digital reprieve I'm getting. Certain communities here that you will find that will support you in your quest to change your life, okay? So don't think that if you can't move somewhere that you're stuck. Okay? Because again, this is about voicing yourself, about recognizing who you truly are, and then saying that to the world in your words, but more importantly, in your action. okay? If you've known that you always want to be a poet, or that you've always wanted to be a singer, and everybody has said, no, you have to be a lawyer because that's the way that things are in this family. And society says you have to be serious, you have to focus on money, you have to focus on these things, right? That is what I mean by not living your authentic truth. And perhaps you need to get into a space where people, where there are tons of poets, right? Or an online community of people that can guide you on, yeah, I know what that feels like. I had to break free from that cage myself. Because nobody, as Elizabeth Gilbert says, right? People, when you say something like, I want to be a writer, or I want to be a creative, or I want to live differently, regardless of what that difference is for you. I'm just using the creative example because of the Knight of Wands here, right? When people say stuff like to her, when she says, I want to be a writer growing up, they would say like, are you sure? Because that's unstable, because that's scary, because that's right. And her dad was, I believe, an electrical engineer, and nobody ever said to him, are you sure? Because you might have like electrical engineering block one day, or right? Nobody asked those questions of the commonplace, of the people that want to live lives that are they've been duplicated over and over again. Again, that's not a lesser life. It's just, what is it that resonates with you, right? There's something here that is meant to be wild about you. And you're caging that wildness in, and the universe is saying, of course you're going to feel stuck and lost. Of course you're going to feel caged up if you're not living in that authentic truth. Let's see, change. The changes that you're going through are positive, and you are gifted, yeah. You are very intelligent and talented. I think particularly for those that are told, like, why are you so weird? Why can't you just go with the flow, right? Why can't you just accept things for how they are? You're saying, because that doesn't resonate with me. That is not the truth as I see it. And I'm not going to live a lie so that you can feel comfortable about the lie that you're living in. And so change is necessary. Again, a vision of like the chariot here, the horse, right? Moving into a new place, even if that is just emotionally and mentally, okay? I think too, I love that this says the changes that you're going through are positive, because it's very much like saying that when you walk through this threshold of living in this truth, you will be received positively by the people that actually matter. Because anybody in your life that is saying, no, live a lie for my own comfort, that is not somebody that you should be sacrificing your freedom for, right? The last card here I wanted to pull as a bit of advice, I guess, of the energy that the universe wants you to kind of contemplate and to embody in this next transition, or to get unstuck, to feel like you have a direction now, okay? To move towards something that will unlock something in your life and start getting you that forward momentum. You've pulled the card of the frog, okay? Obviously, I can't ignore, I can't ignore that this is a leaper, right? A mover, leaping and moving into the future, regardless of how many people try to rain on that parade, right? With all of these droplets coming down. I love the color here too. You are this colorful, wild thing. You are this gifted unicorn. Stop trying to dim yourself for other people that live in the dark, that see everything as black and white. You have more range than that, okay? Maybe you are a singer. This idea that you have range. But ultimately, the frog is about healing. Okay, healing, I think healing in this particular instance has a lot to do with perhaps recognizing the institutions, the family dynamics, the relationship dynamics, the friends in your life, even the relationship that you have with yourself that says, no, don't be colorful, be black and white. Right? Be dull. Don't this color can get you in trouble, right? People that want to live colorful lives often get in trouble, right? This is saying be wild, and that's okay. And when you acknowledge your gifts, your differences as something that is a gift versus something that is a curse, that is a cloud that constantly follows you, when you celebrate your color, that is when you move forward and you heal a portion of yourself that very easily, as you know, I don't normally curse on this channel, but I feel this energy here, okay? That can give you the strength to say, I'm color, bitch, okay? Like, don't come over here with all this black and white, because I'm color. And if you can't see the beauty of my color, then F you, okay? Because I'm not going to dim my color for you, okay? Here's this in the event that you would like to screenshot it. For those that like to do the screenshots, I'm kind of holding it a little bit farther because it's a big page, so I don't know if all of it will fit. Hopefully you can see that. Frog, clearing, cleansing, healing. The frog and the water element are almost inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within this healing element, and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, its need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it's vital that such sensitive creatures practice self-care. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us cleanse, forgive, and release. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. Yeah, you're not meant to carry every expectation of everybody else onto you. Expectations that leave you feeling like you can't be your authentic self. But also, when this says to come into water, right? I feel so much like this is saying to come into your own heart. Right? This idea of the rib cage, of your own lungs, of your own internal world, your own internal emotions. You're going to find respite there. You're going to find color there. For some of you, I'm getting Jim Carrey. If you look up on YouTube, Jim Carrey, I Needed Color, I think is the name of it. You'll understand exactly what this spread is. That is the video for you to watch. Jim Carrey, I Needed Color. You will understand what this spread means, okay? When in balance, clear energy and enthusiasm for life. When out of balance, depleted and running on empty. That flame that I felt, right? To bring into balance, lake, river, ocean, or bathhouse, or perhaps your own bathtub, right? Just sit in a shower and let the water cleanse the black and white off of you to bring you back into color. Okay, some of you, you might be a little bit dehydrated, right? I know that's such a random thing, but with the vulture here and the 5 of Cups in reverse, this 7 of Cups, there's so much about like yearning for a thirst to be quenched. You might literally feel better if you drink some water and make sure you're getting hydrated. That is going to reignite the flame, as in your own nerves, your own arteries, your own body, like getting the nourishment that it needs and coming back to life. Very, very interesting reading for you. Pile number 2, I hope that while I don't expect this particular reading to give you necessarily direct answers, that's not the point of it, right? It's to get you to think. It's to get you to get some clarity and perspective, and I hope that that did this for you. If you made it this far, leave a little bird emoji down below for all the fellow chirping birds that are looking to break free. I think the main takeaway for you here is that you decide, right, what cage you want to be in, and you can free yourself from any cages that you're in now that you don't want to be in at any time. You already know how to fly. It's just a matter of taking that leap, of reigniting yourself and taking that leap and setting off to a new destination. Thank you so much for joining me today. Looking forward to reconnecting with you all. and to having some more videos out on the channel soon. I thank you so much, and I hope to see you again. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye. Alrighty, if you picked pile number 3, then this is the reading for you. If you are feeling particularly lost at this point in time in your life, we've lost a little bit of light as the day has gone by, but I think we'll be okay. Hopefully it's not something that affects the video, okay? One of the things that came out in the first and the second piles, which I really liked, was a question. Both readings started with a question based off of the energy that I was feeling from the charm. I think a question to ask yourself, perhaps, something that might resonate with what it is that you're going through right now, or overall that will guide us through the reading. There are 2 questions in particular that are really coming through here for you, if you've chosen this compass, okay? The first question for me is, if you wander, does that mean that you're lost, right? It reminds me of that quote, not all who wander are lost, right? If you find yourself at this moment wandering, or feeling like you don't have a particular direction, you're unsure of what that direction is, are you really lost, or are you just wandering? A process that is so instrumental, right, in defining what direction it is that we're trying to go. I like this question because it takes me to process, right? How it is that we come to decisions, and how we can't forego the process in order to get to a specific destination. You can't go overseas without booking a ticket, right? There's a process, there are steps to make this trip. And I think one of the steps for you, if you feel like you're just wandering or wavering with no specific direction, no specific destination in mind, or lost about what that destination is, the first part of the process is defining where it is that you want to go. And in order to do that, you have to wander a bit in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, right? There is a benefit, basically, to this idea of being lost. Lost is found in this particular pile. Being lost means getting closer to the answer of how to find yourself and how to find that destination. I like that. Being lost means being found, okay? Now, the second energy that I'm getting here, the second question, this one's a little bit more difficult because I feel some very heavy energy here, okay? I guess if I were to phrase this question in any particular way, it would be to ask, what direction do you believe your north node is pointing you towards? Okay? Now, what I mean by that, what direction do you feel your north node is pointing you towards, is a question about morality. Okay? I get this very, very heavy feeling for this particular pile that you may, pile 3, have struggled or be struggling right now with the idea that perhaps you are not a good person. That the things that you want, that the things that you desire, perhaps you think about them in a negative way. Perhaps you find yourself, right, thinking about things from the perspective of a revenge fantasy. I will show these people. I will show myself, right? I'm going to prove these people wrong about me. Then from the perspective of I am so wholeheartedly committed to becoming this person in the future, and I will accept nothing less. Or perhaps situations in your life where you grew up in toxic households or with toxic family members or friends, toxic circles, toxic influences that allowed you to believe that you were worth less, that you were somehow bad, that you were somehow lacking in morality. Your moral compass did not point north. This is what I mean by that, where is your north node at? I think that's really important because along with this feeling of this being obvious, a direction, a compass, right? I get a sense here that a lot of people perhaps in your life have questioned your authenticity, because this so much feels like there's a coin attached to this, right? There's something about this that feels like a pentacle. Maybe you are an earth sign, a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, right? There's so much here that feels like if I can convince pile 3 that they are not worthy of the things that they desire because they're a bad person, because they're not good enough, because then I can associate shame with their thought process of moving forward in any direction in the future. And then that allows me to have control. You may have had toxic parents or influences in your life that perhaps saw something in you, a strength in you, a truth that you knew about yourself, a gift even, exceptionally smart, exceptionally psychic, exceptionally wise. And that threatened their idea of who they were. And because of that, there was a constant, I'm getting like a constant reminder to you of like, you don't deserve this. You're not worth that. And so when you think of pointing yourself in a particular direction, you very much perhaps unknowingly or subconsciously are ashamed of the idea of success, are ashamed of the idea of finding a true and beautiful love. You have been shamed into even desiring these things, because you've been told that you do not have the moral compass to deserve it, that you are not worthy of that. And I find that's the heaviest energy that I'm picking up here. Now, some of you, of course, could need to actually move around, right? You could, we've gotten a lot of that in the past 2 spreads of relocation, perhaps, travel, perhaps, quarantine getting to you, and you finally snapped, okay? You finally snapped and you need to get outside. You need to explore. But this is a lot about self-exploration in order to get to an idea of what your next destination in life will be, who it is that you will become, okay? Along that note, with this circular pattern that I see here around the compass, I get like a safe, like something locked away. Oh, this is interesting. Hold that thought, okay? Okay. A promise. A promise, okay? Now, I'll tell you how I'm feeling it, and we'll see if the cards support it, okay? What promises have you made about yourself, to yourself and to other people, that you no longer align with? And you're staying on that course. You're staying on a specific course because that is the course that you feel like you've committed to, like a soul contract. And even though that contract has expired, you're still holding yourself to this particular direction. Your immediate circle is still holding you to this direction. Society is still holding you to this direction. Promise. You've perhaps made a promise, and you feel like a moral person would hold to that promise, right? Wouldn't break that promise. But what happens when you've changed and your promise has changed, or the promise doesn't align anymore with what you want for your life? Very, very interesting. So we have watch and wait here. And we also have watch your words, the seahorse and the parrot. Okay. Now, this certainly brings back, right, what I was referring to in regards to, if you're wandering, does that necessarily mean that you're lost, right? Sometimes when we wander, when we're on vacation, when we are at the shopping mall, when we're, right? Sometimes when we wander from store to store or from attraction to attraction, right? It's not that we don't know where things are, it's that we're looking for something there in ourselves. And I feel like there's a moment here where you are meant to be wandering right now. You are meant to feel like you don't have a specific direction. You're watching and you're waiting. You're almost like people watching, except the people that you're watching are the people in your circle and you and how you relate to those people, how it is that you interact with those people. But of course, most importantly, how you interact with yourself. Now, watch your words coming here. Certainly this idea of how it is that you define destination and what it means for you to get somewhere. Are you telling yourself, geez, you're such a failure because you don't even know where you're going? These are the words that we need to watch. But we need to watch also the words that we let other people injure us with. Words that devalue us. This is very much about protection and boundaries, okay? There's something here with this bird of taking flight from words that you know are biting, that sting, that you know are over and over and over again chipping away at your self-confidence, at your self-worth. With this parrot spirit, I love this parrot, right? Because parrots repeat. And there's a sense here of repetition. This brings me to this promise, okay? Perhaps you're flying in the direction of a promise that you made long ago that you don't want to keep anymore. And you're struggling with the morality here. You're struggling with the morality of letting that promise go. The Knight of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles here. Okay. We've got water, we've got fire, and we've got a little bit of earth here, okay? One thing that I'm really picking up on here is this idea of an offering. Now, when we go about our course, right, to live out our own destiny, to live out our own truth, oftentimes we know that it is necessary to make a sacrifice in order to move forward. We have to give a part of ourselves, even if that thing that we're giving up is just a portion, a sliver of the person that we used to be. We have to let that go. And what I'm feeling here is that you have made an offering here with the Knight of Cups, okay? You have made an offering here, and that offering has been you this whole time. You have given up to other people your freedom, your I'm getting even your stream of consciousness, your thoughts, your emotions. You have let other people control those things. And there's a sense here that at the time that you made these decisions, right, to let, barring extreme circumstances, right, where obviously if somebody is taken or kidnapped or something like that, they're not letting other people do bad things to them, okay? That's not what I'm referring to here. I'm referring to people that get married and they're in a situation where they know this relationship stopped working for me 5 years ago. And yet I still give. I'm sacrificing myself as a person to keep a promise, to keep a destination, to keep a route that I know is no longer working for me with the Eight of Pentacles. And so you're stuck here in the middle, in a place of waiting, the Three of Wands, this idea of trying to manifest something, waiting on the shoreline, except you're not necessarily perhaps asking for something to be brought to you. And I want to clarify that because we all have desires, right? What I mean is you're not 100% sure of the direction that you want to go, so you don't know exactly what to ask for in return. You're stuck in what Dr. Seuss in Oh, the Places You'll Go refers to as the waiting place. Okay, you're in this waiting place where you're standing and you're looking at all of these things that could be yours, things that you perhaps examine in other people's lives, blessings that you feel that they have, whether it's people in your circle on social media, right? And you're saying, I can't access those things. I can't even necessarily ask for them to come to me because I've already committed to something. I've already given with the Knight of Cups, right? I've given something to my relationship, to my career, to my friends, to my family, and that thing is me. I often say, if you have to sacrifice yourself for a relationship, whether it's romantic or otherwise, then the cost of that relationship is too high. And what I'm seeing here is a train that is headed down the tracks, and you're on that train, and all of the people in your life are on this train with you. And you see the destination that you're headed to up ahead, and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to go there anymore. And so what does it mean when all of a sudden you're stuck at this place, right? Witnessing all the different avenues past the shoreline of where it is that you could travel, except everybody expects you to stay on the same track that you've been on, to sacrifice even yourself if necessary, your own happiness for their own appeasement. This promise, I can see it in multiple ways. I could see, it's funny because even here I hear ring, right? Ring, like a promise ring. For some of you, this is a marriage. For some of you, this is a marriage, but for other people, it's a destination, like an actual career. I see you on this train, and you're saying to yourself, I don't want to go this way anymore. But you've committed to this. Now, I think a part of what is stopping you from hitting that lever and saying, screw this, right? Like, Jesus, take the wheel, because I'm out of here. Okay, somebody has to drive this train. It ain't going to be me anymore. Okay, I think one of the things that is stopping you is ego. Okay, there's a sense here, even here with the Eight of Pentacles, you can sense a sense of defensiveness. Now notice she's not focused on her pentacle like the Eight of Pentacles typically implies, the one in her hand. She's looking off in the distance. She already has something that she's holding, but she's fantasizing about something else. And this is basically saying, that our ego, perhaps, right, is blocking us from pulling that lever or from jumping out of the train. And so we keep barreling down the track towards a destination that we know no longer suits us. Because the ego, if you were to check that, you might say to yourself, wow, I wasted so much time. Wow, I really let myself down, right? And then here comes that shame back. I can feel it. I can feel that shame coming back for you, pile number 3. You might feel particularly like a heaviness in your chest or in your stomach here, okay? Because I can feel it myself. To check yourself, right? And to say, yeah, my ego is stopping me from jumping off of a train that I know is headed somewhere that I don't want to. Because I've committed to this thing and I've got to keep a straight face, a poker face. Because if I don't, if I switch tracks, then everybody in my life will be able to say, you see, I told you. I told you you weren't worth that. I told you you didn't deserve that. I told you that you would never find that happiness, that you would never get to that blessing. And so we're afraid to change course because of pride, because of ego, okay? The other thing that I think is blocking this is this question of morality. I just got morality clause. You've got a morality clause in your soul contract, except what I don't think you realize is that it's not saying that you are amoral if you break this contract. If you decide, I want to wish for something else, I want a different life, I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to be in this life anymore. I want a different path, right? This morality clause isn't one that says you're a bad person for wanting something different now that you've changed and ascended and evolved. What it's saying is, you have an out. That's the morality clause. It allows you to break the contract when you say, you know what? The old version of me signed up for this. I did not. And I'm getting the hell off this train. I get this image of you barreling down in the pressure, right, of yourself, of your ego, but also the pressure of everybody that's on this train with you. I think some of those people are people that you feel, even if you're disconnected, for example, like people that you're married to, if you decide, I want a divorce, I don't want to do this anymore, right? Even if you know this person isn't right for you, maybe they're just a downright jerk, you still feel like you will hurt this person, and that triggers your morality clause and says, good people wouldn't want to cause that kind of pain. And if I make this decision to pick a different route, to go on a different track, I will cause people pain. Even though this person doesn't deserve that grace, I still want to bar them from pain. I want to stop myself from feeling pain. You might have children that you're trying to stop from feeling pain, right? And so that stops you from pulling that lever. It stops you from switching course. But the downside is that it keeps you going into a direction that you know that you shouldn't be going into, okay? It keeps you barreling down the tracks towards a destiny that you know you will always feel like the glass is half full when you get there, because it's not true to you anymore. When we shed our old selves, there's so much of us that wants to hold on to that thing. I try not to do this anymore, but I can't help it. Okay, look, I'm a writer by trade, and story is very important. I'm a storyteller using the tarot to tell you a story right now, okay? This reminds me very, very much of something that I saw in Stephen King's The Stand, the television version of The Stand, the newest one, not the old one, okay? There's a character by the name of Harold Lauder in this story, okay? And he has been bullied all his life. He has been the outcast. He has been the outsider. He has the trauma, right, of somebody that's been told that they're not worth anything. And every time that they think of having a beautiful girl or a beautiful life, right, or going on a beautiful adventure, shame comes back up, right? It comes back up and it bars them from doing the things that they know that they want to do in this new trajectory. Well, something happens to this character, a virus that takes out like 99% of the world's population, okay? And when this virus happens, it gives Harold a new opportunity to look out into the distance and to head westward and to start a new life with nobody able to hold him to the old version of himself. Now, he gets to this new place where he has helped by riding along the freeway and stuff, heading out west, meet me there, right? He has helped other people come to this one location. He's a bit of a hero in this sense, okay? And he says to himself, I promise there's a point to this story. He says to himself, like, this is my new start. And I think you see a new start for yourself here in a world that you're living now that has been obliterated by a virus. And you say, I can start fresh. I can be a new version of myself. The problem is that when he gets there, people treat him the same, right? These other people, some from his old town, they don't see his worth. They treat him as if he is the same version that they knew before. And he saves somebody. And in that brief moment, he realizes to be thanked genuinely by a stranger for saving their life, what it means to be a hero. And he says something quite interesting about that, okay? That in that moment, an instant, maybe an hour, he recognized that he could become a new Harold Lauder. That he could let go of all of the hate, all of the unpaid debts, all of the bitterness that he had carried from a life where people had told him his whole life that he wasn't worth anything, right? He could jettison all of that hate. He could let all of it go. And he contemplates this, right? This is interesting that this has come up because it reminds me of this idea of revenge fantasy, which I feel some of you are struggling with. Knowing that you're headed towards a destination purely to prove other people wrong or to show them what's what. Even if that means that when you get there, you know, this path doesn't resonate with me. I only did this to shut other people up or to show them something, right? Pride, ego, getting in the way, okay? Now, he contemplates this. He says, the line is, he knew that he could let those things go, those unpaid debts, right? Those old emotions, because they were as worthless as the cash that was choking the cash registers of this new America. And you see this moment, this brief glimpse of hope for this character, right? And then he says, but to seize it would have been to murder himself. The ghosts of every humiliation that he had ever suffered cried out against it. And all of his murdered dreams, all of his murdered ambitions came back to what the author describes as eldritch life, as in taking monstrous form, right? And asked if he could let go of them so easily. The reason why I bring that up is because I feel like you're at this inflection point. You're at this point where you can choose who you want to be in your new America, in your new destination. There's value in wandering, right? Not being lost, but in wandering and not having a direction, okay? Because there's something new in a destination that you never thought you might end up in. That's exciting. The problem lies when you find that, when you have that realization, I could head out west. I could start a new life. I could be the person that I've always wanted to be. And yet, I can't let go of all of the hurt, of all of the unpaid debts, of all of the people that I gave myself to that never reciprocated that, right? So, if I do, I'm severing a part of myself, perhaps the part of you that gave you the strength, gave you the power to engage in this revenge fantasy. Whether it's positive or negative, right, to live out of revenge fantasy and trying to be successful to prove other people wrong. At a minimum, it kept you going. And these feelings of anger, these feelings of I'll show you, these feelings of you wait until I get to here and then I'm going to live a wonderful life, right? When you hold them for so long and they're all that you have, they take on human form. They become your companions. And I feel that you are in a place right now where all of your old haunts, all of your old hurts are asking, if you jump into this new direction, how could you abandon us so easily? We're the thing that got you where you are. I feel that energy very strongly here for those of you that resonate with this revenge fantasy, where you're saying, okay, I'm doing something, I'm working, but I know deep down, like, I don't really want this. I'm just trying to prove something to myself and to the people around me, okay? I think for the rest of you that are in jobs or relationships or in locations where you know, I need to move the hell out of here, I need to break the hell up with this person, or I need to switch my job because this is draining my life force, right? For those of you that are in that place, there's so much about Harold Lauder's story that can resonate with you from a standpoint of you have the opportunity to start fresh. Are you going to be bold enough to let go of the past, of past cycles, of past trauma, of past words from people that say you're not worth anything? In other words, can you recognize the lies in that and start fresh? Easier said than done, I know, but this is what's going to determine how it is that you're able to shift the track that you're on and whether or not you release these old promises where somebody says you're bad, you're not worthy, and you agree. That's the promise in that scenario, right? Or we got married, and I don't care how much of a jerk I've turned into, you made a commitment, and letting that go, right? Or I've been at this job for 10 years. I don't know if there's anything else out there for me. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Should I be leaving my job right now, right? Those promises. You're now deciding whether or not you wish for this new future, for this new version of you, where you become the hero Harold versus the origin story of a villain Harold. And that's the choice. That's why you're wandering. Your subconscious mind, your guides are trying to push you in the direction that will actually bring you fulfillment instead of what you think, perhaps, right, will give you that satisfaction. I'm sorry, I know I went on a bit there, but I really wanted to get that point across, okay? You have to decide if these things are lies. You have to decide if a promise has to be kept, even if the terms have changed. You have changed, right? And for those people that tell you, like, wow, you've changed. Oh, you want to leave me now? Or, oh, this job isn't good enough for you anymore? Oh, you've changed. I think that the natural response to that should be, yeah, why haven't you? Right? Why haven't you changed? Why are you still on the same path that you've always been on? That's the bad thing, right? Not recognizing that you need something new. That's not bad. There's no shame in that. There's shame in remaining stagnant for the purpose of being stagnant, stubbornly digging your heels in, when you know that there's somewhere else that you want to go. Okay, so I see three things here. One, I see relationship, okay? I also see some of you actually want to move actual locations, and some of you are very, very just over your work right now, and you know this is not fulfilling you. This is not the track, the destiny that you knew that you had always wanted to be on. You've pulled metamorphosis, clearly a transformation on your mind here. Scorpio energy here with metamorphosis, some air energy here with watch your words, and then perspective here. Okay, this could certainly be Pisces energy here, or Virgo as well, the hermit, going within, right? Wandering within, not lost within, but wandering within, to get that aha moment, to get the downloads, to get information from your guides, from your heart, your true heart, not the ego-driven part of it, right? On where it is that you need to go next. Okay. You have true, you've pulled creative, and you've pulled hello and goodbye. I think for some of you, you can channel this, right? I see a form of meditation, like even if it's just something like a coloring book, right? Something that lets you drown your mind out, or scripting, or just scribbling, okay? Just doodling or something like that, that lets you fade your mind out a little bit and see what revelations come. There's something creative here that you could be doing that's going to help you harness what this wish is. What is the new wish? What is the new destination, right? Where are you headed next? Even here you can see, like, there's all these beautiful horses they're like chariots, right? Once you allow your brain to shut off a little bit and let your heart speak, let your guides speak, you'll know which direction this is. Doing something creative can help you do that, okay? I also see here, hello and goodbye. I get very much like another one bites the dust energy here. I feel like some of you, right, especially for those of you that have been on this cycle for a long time, you knew 10 years ago that your relationship was over, and yet you're still in it, right? That have been in a long, long time struggling with the same thing and kicking yourself, shaming yourself even, saying, why can't you get out of this, right? This card is for you. Hello and goodbye. So long and thanks for the fish, right? Very much a thank you next energy, okay? I appreciate what I've learned from you. It was nice to meet you, and it's time to go. It's time to fly away from all these people that might try to hold you down, that might try to bring you back. Because under the guise, right, of you're a bad person if you don't keep this promise, when the truth is you're a bad person if you do, if you keep a promise that you know is not truthful to you anymore, right? You can't live with that. Not a bad person, but you understand, right? You're taking the bad path. This is you saying goodbye, hanging up the phone now, right? This call's been going on too long. It's so funny. When I said that, my guide said, new phone, who dis? Okay, that's how you need to approach this, I think. This card says you'll soon see that this change will make things better. So something soon is coming, a breaking point. Even here, I get the sense of a dam breaking. Okay, this wish, keep wishing for it. Put the destination in front of your mind when you connect with, okay, this is where I'm going now. Now that I've quieted all of these promises and the anguish, the shame of saying, of acknowledging that I want something different, that my eyes are wandering, or feeling like you're cheating on your current life by wanting something else, the floodgates will open, the dam will break, and this movement will come sooner than you think. I also feel that your guides are working for you to clear the path, not just in your intuition to give you the answer that you're looking for, but once you decide what that is, they're like using the ocean, right? The current changes to push you forward, to help you, okay? For those of you that have a specific question, right? Like, should I leave this person? Should I pursue a new career? Is this thing bad for me, right? Would I be good at this? If I take a leap of faith towards this person or this venture, will I be successful? The answer is yes, okay? Yes, what you're asking about is the truth. So extra motivation here to move forward. So much about movement here. You could be a Cancer too, because all these horses, right? All this thing about like movement forward, even the seahorse here. Okay? All right. Last card, okay? I wanted to pull one final card because I wanted to ask, right? What energy do you want pile number 3 to embody here when it comes to their movement forward, or their quest to answer what this new direction is? And you've got Dolphin, which I think is so fitting because obviously there's a sense of moving, right? Movement, but also connecting with the heart, connecting with your true self, perhaps doing that through play, through paint, through creativity, through color. Okay, let's pull that for you. I want to read that from the book for you on what the universe kind of wants you to embody there. Let's see here. I will also pull this up for those of you that like to screenshot, because these are a little bit longer. Let's see here. Where are you, Dolphin? There's, some of this healing work with the colors that I'm seeing here, this could be stuff from your childhood that you're trying to resolve, right? This could be something that when you should have been allowed to play, to explore yourself, you were told who you had to be, and you stayed on that track. And now it's time to set off into open water, where it feels daunting. There's so many different places that you can go, and just play with it. I'm being told, just play with it and see where you end up. Okay, here's that for my screenshotters. A bit of a longer page, so I'm going to try to keep it further away. I hope that it focuses there for you. Dolphin, innately intelligent, healer, light, blessings. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts, as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day, and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. I feel like that blessing is certainly a shift in direction for you, okay? Finding a new home, I'm being told. But also, this line really sticks out to me. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming into contact with the dolphin type will change the entire course of your day and thus your life. Some people can use this energy from you in a miraculous way to uplift themselves, to really push themselves, right? To be inspired by you. And others just want to suck it away. And you have to determine who the people around you are that are just taking that from you, that vitality from you, right? That play from you, that beautiful heart from you. I don't think dolphins can frown, right? Your happiness, your joy, your playfulness, your kind-heartedness, and your constant desire to help other people, like dolphins helping humans when they're about to drown and like pulling them to shore and stuff. This is wonderful that you are this person. But who is going to pull you out when you're drowning? Okay, you're being asked to be your own dolphin here. When in balance, active healer, strong spiritual practice. When out of balance, underestimates own power. Yeah, about worth, right? What words are you choosing to believe about your own value, about your own worth? To bring into balance like-minded spirits, yes. This is why I feel like this is why you've been in this waiting space, okay? Because you have to see, you have to watch and wait. Watch, you're people watching, your destination watching, okay? If you understand that the busy hustle and bustle of city life is not for you, and you've always wanted to live on a farm and plant your own garden, right? You're watching, you're seeing references all around you that are pushing you to the new place that you're supposed to be, and vice versa. If you know that you've always wanted to be an artist and that type of talent can't be nurtured on a small farm in the middle of nowhere, right? And you might be drawn to city life, to city people, to people that are in hubs of creativity, right? Just an example, but you get what I mean here. You're watching, and in this waiting, you're watching in waiting, okay? Very, very interesting. Although that might not give you the exact destination, right? I hope that that's not really the purpose of this reading, but I hope that it at least gave you something to think about, something to question in yourself, and something to search for clarity on in your own journey. Remember that you don't owe your life to anyone, pile number 3. Doesn't matter what promises were made. At any given moment, you can revoke consent. You can revoke any direction that you're headed if you feel like you now need to head somewhere else. Nobody owns you. Nobody has that power over you, even if that nobody is your past self. All right? I wish you luck with this. I thank you so much for stopping by the channel again. If you have made it this far, leave a little water or perhaps a dolphin emoji if there's dolphin emojis, right? Down below to let me know which group you picked. I look forward to reconnecting with you all and to posting some more videos here on the channel. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, if you picked pile number 4, then this is the reading for you. If you are feeling particularly lost in this part of your life, some interesting energies that came up in the other piles, I'm looking forward to jumping into yours. You have pulled the charm of the cuckoo clock, which is so unique, and I gotta tell you, I really love the energy that is coming from this cuckoo clock. The energy of who you are. For those of you who picked this pile, obviously I love all the piles, but there's something about this one that is very exciting, very, I don't want to say weird, but weird as a compliment, right? Very eccentric, okay? One of the things that came up in the other piles at the beginning was a question, and I'd like to keep that going because I really liked how that came to pass, okay? And I think the question that I'm getting for you, this is really, really interesting. We're going to have some fun for this pile. I'm getting define crazy. Define crazy, okay? That's an interesting question. I like the attitude behind that, like define crazy. what is crazy to you, right? I get a sense here with the cuckoo clock. Obviously, there's so much about like sanity and insanity and who is sane and who is insane and the things that other people are able to see that others aren't, and those people that can't see it thinking, oh, you're strange, you're weird, you're eccentric, you're crazy, right? I feel like for this particular pile, some of you have been struggling with how different you are from other people or how different you feel from other people, right? And there is a struggle, I think, going on, a little bit of moments where you feel like you're going cuckoo, perhaps, right? Because you have these beliefs either in who it is that, I think ultimately in who it is that you are and who it is that you want to be, but also in the things that you find interesting and the things that you find deep and the things that you find exhilarating, that you find powerful, that you find artistic. I think that you're struggling perhaps with being different in a world that tells us to be normal. Right? I love that word came up, normal, because a lot of people have told me in my life, like, why can't you just be normal? Why can't you just have normal goals? Why can't you just, right? And it took me to a place where I actually looked up the definition of the word normal, and some of the definitions that I found were people of subpar intelligence, people that are predictable, and I couldn't help but to think, well, who would want to be normal, right? I think, too, for some of you, especially with being in the house, perhaps, feeling a little cuckoo, perhaps, if you're in quarantine or the world feels like it has stopped and gone a little crazy, right? You might be asking, what is your new normal? Right? What is normal to you? What is going to be your new normal going forward from the lessons and the things that you've learned about yourself and about society while you've been in this house going a little cuckoo, a little stir crazy, right? I want to be clear that when I use terms like that, like crazy, of course I'm not speaking about people with mental health issues, okay? Because of course I would never make fun of that. What I'm talking about is any time that somebody's different, how we label them as strange, how we label them as weird, right? One thing that I get here for this particular pile, if you've ever considered it, I think that if you pick this pile, you might feel that you have a calling towards the arts, towards creativity, towards putting something out there, and you might be in a situation where that is suppressed, where you are told that that is something that is abnormal, that that is something that only special people do, and perhaps you're crazy to think that you are that special. And I feel like you feel like you're going a little bit cuckoo, right? Because you have this feeling that you were meant for something more and you cannot let it go because you are. No matter how many times people say, you're crazy to think that. That'll never happen. That's a pipe dream. That's too much, right? Why can't you just be like everybody else, right? You feel this intense burning calling to something out of the ordinary. Also, for some of you in this pile, a clear inclination towards healing work, I think, okay? Particularly if you are interested in things like the mind and how the mind works, breaking old cycles, breaking patterns, repetition, right? That leaves us in a place where we're constantly on a hamster wheel instead of moving forward in our lives. A bit of a side note, I know that's not what this reading is about, but it came up, so I just wanted to mention it, okay? It's like I even here, as I think about like let's get into the cards, I want to say like let's get weird. Exciting, as I said, you're my kind of people. Pile number 4, okay? So hat tip, let's be friends, right? Yeah. What define crazy? I'm getting. It's funny as I say that. I get a sense here. A quote is coming up now. I don't normally curse on the channel, but I'm gonna make an exception, okay? If you don't like cursing, fast forward 10 seconds, maybe 15. This reminds me of that saying, the thing about smart mother effers, the thing about smart motherfuckers is they look like crazy motherfuckers to dumb motherfuckers, okay? Now, I'm not saying that the people around you are dumb, but I certainly believe that sometimes when people see the world through a special lens, a gifted lens, which I feel is here in this pile. You're a gifted person, okay? Even if, because I see some of you are like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. Okay, you are gifted and you don't realize it, or you do and you don't know what to do about it. Okay, the thing about gifted people and when they see life through a gifted lens, when other people don't have that, they have other strengths, right? They consider your gift a weakness. They consider it an oddity. And so your enlightenment, your wits, your smarts, right? They look like craziness to people that don't understand that. And I feel so much of that energy coming through in this spread. You actually pulled an extra card here. I didn't realize that, but we're going to go with it. You have Fox Spirit, think on your feet. You have Cow Spirit, the miracles are endless. And you have Dove Spirit, be peace here, okay? Now, with this Fox Spirit, I get this energy that I felt in the beginning of like, let's get weird. Things are going to get fun. Things are going to get interesting. Foxes, sometimes they get this reputation of being sly or sneaky, but they're actually quite funny. They're quite fun. I see this as creative power, as creative passion, as looking at life in a way that is almost romanticized. You want to romanticize your life, pile number 4, and far be it for anybody to tell you that that is not possible or that you need to live your life in a particular way. You're fighting against this grain. There's something that is naturally spry about you, naturally energetic, naturally passionate, and you're living in a world that is saying, no, go back into the house. Go back into the clock because that's too much. You're too extra for this. And the universe is responding here. This cow, you could be from India, but you don't have to be. There's something about this that feels like sacred almost, or I get from this center card, there's more here. This is like a guide speaking to you or a sign for you, okay? For those of you that resonates with. This, to me, feels like the universe coming in and saying, the miracles are endless. Don't let people convince you of your to be normal. You weren't meant for that. You were meant to be different. Normal is boring for you, and you were not meant to be boring. There's a sense here, because I feel like my stomach is being like force-fed. You're being force-fed normalcy when you know that you have an abnormal viewpoint, an abnormal perspective that is actually meant to burst out of you energetically, to be at the forefront, to plant flowers in people's hearts and minds with your individual uniqueness. And you're being asked not to stifle that, to let it free, to let it fly, and to be at peace with the fact that this is a gift and it is not a curse, okay? Be at peace with your uniqueness, with the fact that you, in certain areas of your life, are able to fly higher than others. Do not fear your difference, okay? And do not try to mold yourself to fit what other people think you should be when you know you're special, okay? We have the King of Cups, the Four of Cups reversed, the Ace of Wands, and Judgment reversed. Wow. Oh. I have to take a second because I feel like I identify so much with this particular pile. Like, I understand, right? I empathize with you. With the King of Cups here, there is so much about your inner emotion. How much you feel, how deeply you feel, how you see life in color. Color splashes across your eyes. There's no other way for you to see the world than through this unique way, through one that is focused on love and not hate. When I say love and not hate, I mean things that are possible versus skepticism, versus immediate negativity. You're not made that way. And when you live in a world that is trying to constantly crush you under the weight of be just like everybody else, of course, you're going to feel like you're suffering. And you're going to feel these things more deeply. And you're going to have a tug of war with yourself when it comes to handling your own emotions and how it is that you digest these gifts. With the King of Cups here, I feel a very strong sense that this is saying that you've been blessed. You've been given a gift, and it is your duty to not throw that gift away. This tug of war where you feel like you're constantly coming out, then coming back in, coming out, coming back in, right? With the cuckoo clock. This is you saying, okay, I recognize my true self. Let me get out there as my true self. And the world says, no, you have yet to come out in a way that is suitable for us normal folk, right? And so you go back into hiding. And this Four of Cups reverse, as I said, I felt like this card was more of a guide speaking to you, right? A sign that a message is coming. Is saying, stop throwing this opportunity away with the Four of Cups. Stop rejecting the unique and gifted way that you were meant to see the world. The second that you embrace this and stop fighting it, whether that's your intuition, your ability to heal others, your psychic gifts, okay, because I feel that very strongly with this pile, or your creative and artistic gifts. Once you stop throwing that away, a new chapter begins with the Ace of Wands. You become the creator of your true reality. And you disrupt. You disrupt industry. You disrupt the common way of thinking. You were meant to do these things, to constantly go up against the grain, okay? It's not easy to do that, okay? When everybody is like, do this. Right? But that is what you were meant to do. An individual path. It can feel lonely sometimes to do that. Okay? I feel like when you do this, you're going to find your actual soul tribe. For some of you, I feel that one of the things that is tearing at you is how much this gift, how much this uniqueness divides you from the other people in your life. I even see here with the Four of Cups this idea of exchange, of conversations that you have with others that always feel empty. If you have conversations with other people that feel like, why are we, like internally you're saying, why are we even talking about this? This doesn't matter. Or you try to show somebody something like, I saw this painting and here's why, like, it brought me to life. And they're like, oh, okay, like, what's that, a painting? Since when are you into art? Since, like, maybe that doesn't mean something that deep. These kinds of conversations that leave you feeling flat, then you know this pile is for you, okay? I feel like once you stop rejecting this about yourself, dressing how everybody dresses, doing what everybody does, speaking how everybody speaks, pretending like you have the same interests that other people have, pushing away your gifts, pushing away your talents, okay? Once you stop doing that, you will come into your true self and you will start a new passionate journey. Okay, you'll fly to it. It'll feel like it happens overnight, like this blessing has come to you overnight, okay? And you will also find your soul tribe. Because there's no way that you're going to resonate with the people that you're trying to resonate with right now. You might be feeling especially lonely because the people that you're surrounding yourself with here, they fail to understand you because they're not like you, right? They want you to be like them versus people that are going to embrace this and say, hey, I'm just like you, right? Like I said, I got so excited when I started feeling this energy, and I'm like, let's be friends. Like this will lead you to your soul tribe. Stop trying to stomach stuff that's trying to purge out of you. Your uniqueness that's trying to purge out of you. Stop trying to swallow that. Perhaps because of the fear of judgment of others. A fear of judgment that leaves you judgment reversed, okay? This is basically saying once you push away the fear of judgment for your own gifts and your own uniqueness, then we can right this wrong and we can get back on our path. We can heal ourselves, re-inspire ourselves, but also move on according to our purpose, okay? It's funny because this judgment is wearing a mask, and there's something here, perhaps drama, right? Acting or something like that. But I get the sense here that with this particular judgment, it's like you have to let go of the mask of normalcy. Because as I said in the beginning with that definition, normal is too boring for you, and you were not meant to walk down a normal path. The more that you inflict yourself to this status quo that I feel here, the more it will hurt, and the more disconnected you will feel with who you truly are. The more unfulfilled you will feel because you're not letting that mask fall off. Okay? Very, very interesting energy. Mystery here. Strangeness. Oh my gosh, look at that. Strangeness. Embrace your mystery, your weirdness, your quirkiness. This is something that you're meant to play with, not something that you are meant to stuff inside of you. Go cuckoo, go crazy. And when people say, right, when people say to you, like, why are you being so weird? Define weird, right? Why are you being so crazy? Define crazy, like that question in the beginning. I think for you, this idea of define crazy, this question, right? It's like to you, you recognize because you're different, because you have different yearnings, okay? A different perspective, a gift that cannot be tamed, that cannot be held down and suffocated and ignored. You are forced to ask yourself the question of like, define crazy, because to you, see, to somebody like you, crazy is actually doing the normal stuff. Crazy is living the commonplace life, and you know that you were not meant for that. Very interesting. So embrace your mystery. This very much feels like the Moon card. I get a lot about imagination here as well. Letting your imagination run wild. Recognizing, putting a light to all of these mystical ideas, monsters, mystical creatures that are lurking in your brain and in your heart, and letting them be seen. Stop hiding them in the dark. Look at how beautiful that is. Why would you want to hide this from anybody, right? Embrace your strangeness. You might seem like an abominable snow cat. This is a snow cat here, right? To others. But the thing about this abominable snowman, like the legend, the lore, right, is while some people will fear this, fear power, fear the unknown, every time I try to say fear, I accidentally say feel. Afraid to feel your power, right? Afraid to feel how different you are. This is their fear. Because that makes them reflect on something that they're lacking, right? This is what you are helping them do by stuffing your uniqueness down within you when it's meant to be out in the open, okay? The thing about this abominable snowman or snowcat, as we're saying here, or unicorns even, there's something so wonderful about the unknown. And you were meant to be a wonderful unknown. Stop trying to be a basic known when you were meant to be a wonderful unknown. When you do that, you will realign with your path and you won't feel like you're constantly on this cuckoo clock, in and out, right? Trying to show a true version of yourself and then running back inside where it's safe, where people won't judge you, won't point at you, won't say, no, we don't accept this. We don't accept you this way. Very, very interesting. I think, too, it will help you master your emotions about this with the King of Cups, right? To stop looking at this as something that you should be ashamed of and recognizing the world doesn't fear that you're different. They fear the power of somebody that recognizes their difference and says, so what? Yeah, I'm different. Deal with that. That's what they fear, right? Very nice. You've also got light here. See the light within yourself and everyone else. I feel like this is saying once you see the light, the magic, the wonder in you, then everything else this feeling of being lost, of being in the dark, is illuminated and things feel lighter. And you know, okay, this is where I'm moving now, right? I'm not stuck trying to suffocate who I truly am. And then you you also have just be yourself. You're a great person. Enjoy being yourself. Notice here too that this child, you could be racial dynamics, right, could certainly play in your interests, and you being told, for those of you that are of color, right, you being told like, no, we don't do that. We don't do those types of jobs. We don't love that kind of way. We don't, right? You could find that there's a racial component in how people are constantly telling you that you need to act. I can certainly empathize with that, right? I often have people say, why do you talk like a white girl? And I'm not sure what the hell that means. Okay, like when I ask them, they're like, well, you use big words. And I'm like, well, what does that say about what you think about black people? Okay, you could have those dynamics in your life if you're a person of color, or if you're a woman trying to be in a male-dominated industry, a male trying to be in a female-dominated industry. These social constructs could be something that makes you feel like you're prevented from being yourself. Also, perhaps this idea of coming out, right? Perhaps you want to love different with the King of Cups, but you don't feel like the world will accept you for that. You feel judgment. For some of you, this idea of being your true self means loving who you want to love, okay? Very, very interesting. I was going to say, notice that this little boy on the Just Be Yourself card, he is reaching out for a dove here. And this card, the dove spirit, says be peace. I think this says be at peace with being yourself. I think that's the message here, okay? Those people that can't accept you for what you are, right? What you believe yourself to be, they don't matter. They don't matter. That's the nicest way I'm going to say it, okay? I asked for one last card here at the end. One card that what energy basically the universe kind of wants you to think about and to embody in order to help you not feel lost, or in order to help you gain some clarity on your life of where this will resonate the most, or ways that it wants you to behave. And you have pulled the card of the sea serpent. Okay, there's a lot about cycles here, right? About the way that we perhaps see things, because this looks like an eye. This idea of perception, right? Perhaps you perceiving the world in a way that people that aren't as open, this eye is so open, right? Can understand. And the fact that I think part of you is eating your own tail, as in you're attacking yourself, trying to say, well, this is what I see the world is trying to tell me to become, so I need to be that thing. But also a refusal to come out as your original self, and staying on the cycle of trying to show that and then regressing because you're afraid of the judgment of others, perhaps, okay? I'm going to pull this up for you, the sea serpent up for you. Here in the book, just flipping to that page. Okay, this one is two-sided, so I am going to put this out for those that do like to do the screenshotting. Not as close as usual because the pages here are longer. And so I don't know if all of that will get into frame. I'm hoping that it does, okay? So that's the first page, and then here is the back, and this page as well. Okay. Sea serpent, healing emotional wounds, expressing desires. There's that expression, right? Coming out and just being your true self. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our hearts are at ease, and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment. Jeez Louise, the way that this card matches this, wow. Let me go back, I'm so sorry. We loosen the grip of self-judgment, and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in the muddy waters. The current of expression stagnates in some areas of our lives, and in other places it floods. It's important to remember, no matter what the waters of our emotional lives look like, the sea serpent loves us just the same. Like a mother, she wraps herself around us in a gesture of protection. She supports us as we learn to express our true natures. Man, oh man, does that resonate with the reading. I'm going to read this as well. The sea serpent and the second chakra. The subtle energy of the sea serpent occupies the area of the Svadhisthana chakra, located deep within the pelvic bowel. The pelvic bowl. Sorry about that. This chakra is known as our center of creativity and desire, and is associated with the water element. Svadhisthana, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, translates as in her own abode. Wow, the house, right? Indicating this chakra is the home of the divine mother, or Kundalini herself. So very much, as I said, for those of you that are suffering in perhaps bodies that you feel, right, don't match who you are. Pressures based off of race, gender, and sexuality. Certainly you can see how this card is saying to embrace those things, right? To work on that chakra, but also to express your true nature. You're being asked to stop eating yourself for dinner. Stop chewing on your own limbs. It's not going to go away. This desire to express, to be different, to be unique, right? Don't repress that with fear and with shame. Very, very interesting. This is how we work to heal that part of us, those emotional wounds. A very interesting reading, fun energy for you here for your particular pile. You are special. Pile number 4, okay? Like that scene in The Help, you is special, okay? I want to thank you so much for joining me for today's video. If you've made it this far, leave a little, let's see, what kind of emoji should we do for your group? Perhaps a snake emoji, right? For the serpent here, okay? Snake in a good context. To let me know which pile you picked down below. Of course, I welcome your questions and your comments down below as well. I thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to reconnecting with you guys and putting some other videos out here on the channel for you. Take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.